Well, Terry, what a match we have here. The 1992 Junior South Pacific Classic. Troy Lott, a student from New South Wales who bowls out Windsor Way near Penrith. 18 years old, as I said, of course, commenced bowling in 1986, hasn't been at it that long. Is taking on also Cameron McKinnon, also 18, a student from South Australia, has been bowling just a couple of years longer, and Troy Lott on lane 27. And a wild one to start.
Quite a wild one to start. Now, again, what I've been saying all week is you drop the ball a little bit short, the shot's magnified down the back end, and the ball just tends to run away. I doubted very much whether he missed it by that much. Again, there's been a lot of people having a lot of difficulty getting the ball down the lane this week, and that's been the important part of whether you play good or bad.
He's converted the spare, and this final, of course, for the boys and girls, as we saw earlier, these players are under 18 years. Both these young men are 18 years of age, and by their dates of birth, I think this is the last time we'll see them in junior ranks in this tournament. Both now qualify for 1993 to into the senior or adult ranks. So we'll just see Cameron McKinnon's form on lane 28.
Well, you can see him calling out for it to hurry, but it was never going to get there. It's he's got to make some good shots. He's left himself a difficult start with the 2-7. He's got to hit the 2-pin and bounce the ball over. Unless, of course, he tries the more flamboyant way of putting the 2-pin into the 7-pin, but I wouldn't suggest it.
And he almost did.
And he almost did. Again, the pin coming off the back. He was unlucky.
He was.
You know, as we've seen in previous matches, that approach has worked. You'll see Troy down there not wanting to watch what Cameron's doing, which is, I think, a good philosophy. With these one-game matches, you've got to go out there and play your own game. You've got 10 frames. Make as much of a match of it as you can, and just go out there and throw great shots, because you only get one hit at it, you make a mistake, and you can watch it forever.
Well, a bit of a nervous start for Cameron McKinnon, of course, opening his first frame. He was a little wide and wild on that shot, but I'm sure the nerves will settle down. Cameron McKinnon averaged 190 to be top qualifier in the junior division after 30 long games, and Troy Lott is in this final of the Junior South Pacific Classic for 1992, courtesy of a win a little earlier today over Doug Bear Jr., 211 to 205.
Doug Bear being the defending champion from last year too, so he's had a good tournament. First last year, third this year. No disgrace in that. But Cameron there picking up the spare. So, well, at this stage it's up to Troy. Cameron's gone open spare, but he's bowled 2 frames. Troy's yet to bowl his second frame. Let's see if he can make a good shot here. He's a little bit short before. He just needs to get the ball to go down the line more.
Looks a better shot, Terry. Still high. And an easy spare at this early stage of the match for Troy. Both young bowlers settling down. Neither have bowled on television before with the lights and the pressure, of course, of a big final. A 189 average is Troy Lott's home average in his bowling centre at Windsor. And a serious problem here. Yes. 6'10" chop.
Certainly is. You know, opening the frame now, that sort of evens the match up a lot, because Troy's gone spare then open, and Cameron's gone open then spare. You'll see there he's just chopped the 6 straight off the 10. You know, anything that these chaps leave in here, again, you can't emphasise enough that they're out here for one match. You know, you've got one hit at it. If you don't make good shots, it just comes back and haunts you for it. But that was a great shot. I thought the shot before, when he came up a little high, was a good shot, but he got that one further out, extended through the ball better, got good leverage and lifted it out. You'll see here he just gets the ball right out on the line, it goes out, comes back, 10 in the pit, perfect shot. What he needs, a couple more of those, and that'll get him right back into it. But it's all up to Cameron now. It's his turn to go and do battle. Open the first, close the second. He would like a strike now, and it's dead even. Ah, good shot.
Terry, one thing I've noticed over the years is, particularly over the last 5-6 years, is these young bowlers, both boys and girls, they have fantastic capacity to strike. And of course their sparing is what they're not working on. And what do they say in golf? You drive for show and you putt for dough. I wonder if perhaps there should be a little bit more emphasis put on the spare side of the game.
Well, it's fine to throw the big shot, the big strike ball, but you have to spare. It's as simple as that. You see a number of people in America, all the top pros are all the best money earners are the best sparers, and it's as simple as that. You know, that you go out, you get the strikes. You
don't need to spare.
Well, you know, I said that to a player last year that he was bowling so many strikes that spares weren't that important, but he ran second, and if he got one more spare, he would have won. So, but that's a great shot there by Cameron. He's come up. Got the goods, he's come out with a double. And Troy, with a strike up now, can come up and get one, and it's all square. But again, they do throw the big strike ball. They throw a much better ball, but they just need to learn on work on spares.
And a little high again on lane 28, the even lane for Troy Lott. Another easy conversion, a 7-pin, although as we've just concentrated our conversation on spare shooting, I'm not sure how much is easy for these young bowlers. Pins fall.
When you're out on TV there, it's very, I think anything's very difficult to pick up, especially if you need to pick it up to win. And
he's missed this by a proverbial mile, hasn't he?
Exactly.
Just what we were talking about.
Well, exactly, but again, with the lane condition, you've got more oil in the centre of the lane, less on the outside. You throw the ball out, it doesn't come back. You drop it short, it runs away. These guys have got to learn that when they go for spares, you've got to play straight at it on this type of a condition. You've got to play more direct to your spares and not let the ball hook away from you or be a little confused, throw it out, and it doesn't come back. Well, that one extended out, but a little slow, a little soft. He's gone a little tentative now.
Well, I'm sure his confidence would be down after missing that 7-pin.
Well, he's like gone open, and Cameron sitting on the bench has gone from being a couple of pins down to like 20 in front. You know, he goes up, get a double, and Troy gets up and goes open. Well, that's his third open in a row. Second open in a row. You know, when you sit down, you go open. You like pick up 20 pins sitting on the bench, and it's not very pretty. See, he just throws it wide.
Well, I certainly can't emphasise enough the importance of spare shooting. As you've already said, Terry, that chap you mentioned about strikes are okay, and he lost with a spare. So, I mean, these people, these young fellas need to look at this. Although when you're throwing the ball like Cameron, you don't have to worry about it.
Well, you get up there and you go and throw a lot of strikes, as we saw with Amanda Bradley. She started with the first 6 and then opened the 10th frame. But Cameron's throwing the ball very well. You see here, 10 in the 5th, perfect strike. But you still need to worry about these spares because you get up there and if he drops one short, leaves a big church, you get like a 5 count, and then you go up and get 2. You can lose a lot of pins. Again, throwing the good ball is one thing, but you have to keep it in play. And the experience that these guys get from this sort of a telecast is just, you can't overemphasise it enough. You know, have the juniors in the South Pacific and to have them on television and have them on making videos of themselves, they get a chance to probably see themselves for the first time in their career. And it's great experience. But again, when you're out here, you're playing for first or second. No disgrace in losing.
Well, there's certainly no disgrace. It's a prestigious tournament. It's enormous, adds enormous credibility to the credentials of any young bowler, and not to mention their pockets. And there's that spare shooting again, even from young Cameron McKinnon, whose confidence must be up. $1,100 for the winner of this match, $700 for second. Doug Bear Jr. already in third spot with $500. Total boys prize fund of $4,500, and that makes a total payout in the junior division of the South Pacific Classic for 1992 to be just under $8,000. Terrific for bowling in Australia.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's great to see the young guys get up here and get a chance to get in it, get at it. It allows them to go out and further their careers. It gives them money to practice, and all the money does go to that. Practice, better equipment, their travelling expenses are high. You can't overemphasise the amount that the experience that these guys are able to get by being able to be here in the first place is just fantastic. It's just enormous.
Well, Troy Lott needs to spare this to get any sort of confidence, and he does so, much to his relief, I'm sure. And the current state of play, 64 in the 5th frame with a spare working for Troy Lott, 111 with that open frame for young Cameron McKinnon in the 6th frame. So still leading this match, but let's see, we've already seen or at least one turnaround early in the game, and 10-pin bowling never ceases to surprise me.
No, the 8th, 9th and 10th usually brings a lot of surprises in a lot of matches. A lot of the TV matches where someone's been in front going into the 8th and they come out the 9th and they're 10 behind. So he just needs to come up and make spares. Actually don't like his choice of going to the straighter ball for his spares on the right-hand side. because again, the way the lane condition plays these days, where you throw it out, hooks back a bit more, I think you should go with the hook ball, because you can drop it. Well, he can either throw it too wide and it just doesn't come back, but that was horrible again. Middle of the lane, playing a little difficult this week, but at this stage he misses that. He's like 88 in the 7th, and Cameron can get up here and go spare strike or just go spare, and you know, he's 130, so he's like 43 pins in front.
Well, he's thinking about it, young Troy Lott, but let's see Cameron McKinnon's form on the even lane here. And certainly a little flush and going away to the left, as you mentioned, Terry. The back ends here, the last part of the lane, a little dry, and indeed the bowling ball's not being able to grip all the way to the end, and the ball, of course, fading off to the left.
Well, the back ends of this week, I don't think have been such a problem as the head area. It's been very, very difficult to get the ball through the first 15 feet of the lane, which really makes the game, and I think that's the only reason that we've got left-handers leading the men's and the women's division. Because of that, it certainly by no means was a left-sided condition. It's just that there's a lot of play. This centre does a high lineage, and the head areas are just a little worn maybe. But again, you know, everyone has to play on it, so what can you say? But one thing that's important to note is that the girls have pretty much out-averaged the boys, and I think the reason for that is that the girls don't throw the big shot, although Amanda and Maxine certainly do, but they certainly spare better. They spare an awful lot better. And just watching these guys play, Maxine and Amanda well, I think the boys should be lucky not playing either of them two, because they throw the ball just great.
Yes, there's certainly no question that the depth of talent in junior bowling in Australia is immense at the moment, and although this Troy Lott, of course, and young Cameron McKinnon here in the final aren't showing as the best of their sparing form, and getting a strike there from Troy to save something of a bit of an embarrassment at the totals, but 88, of course, in the 7th frame with a strike in the 8th, and Cameron, of course, also with that strike in the 8th frame, 131 in the 7th frame. But the talent of junior bowlers is immense, but I think I take your point, Terry. I think the level of the girls in this country over the last 5 or 6 years is certainly superior to the level and quality of the men.
I really believe that, even in adults. We have Cara Honeychurch, who won the Kent Invitational, which is probably the biggest international field outside of the World Cup, and she won that earlier in the year. The women in general overseas have done very, very, very well, and I feel are outstripping the men, mainly because of their sparing ability, and they just don't throw the huge shot like the guys do. The guys get out there and they sort of like to turn it off the lane, and it's great when they strike, but when they miss, it's horrible.
Troy Lott spare in the 9th, taking his total to 108 in the 8th frame. That spare in the 9th, of course, counts as 10 pins, plus his bonus shot in the 10th frame. But Cameron McKinnon now with a strike in the 8th. Let's see if Terry, if he can make a double and get his total up around 200, which is a little more than he's averaged this week. 190 has been Cameron McKinnon's average for 30 games of the South Pacific Classic, and a late fall, taking out the possible difficult spare and leaving him with a potentially easy spare, the single pin left.
That's right. You'll see here he's just gone light. He's gone right at the head pin. 4-pin falls over, takes out the 5. Gives him 9. He can go spare strike. He sort of marks out for 190. Troy, on the other hand, if he marks out, he only shoots 140. So
yes, well, that certainly doesn't give any true indication of Troy Lott's form here in the South Pacific Classic Junior Division at Belconnen Bowl in Canberra for the last 2 or 3 days. Troy Lott's averaged 187 for his 30 games, with a high game of 232, which he had on Friday. Cameron McKinnon, 190 average, a high game of 240, and the top qualifier has the right to re-challenge if indeed he is defeated or she is defeated in each of the particular matches in today's finals. But that hasn't been the case in the girls' final, and indeed it doesn't look so in this particular boys' division either, Terry. Convincing bowling by Cameron McKinnon of South Australia, and certainly he has a fine career in adults when he gets into that next year in January.
Well, he has to certainly pick up his sparing ability,
yes.
But yeah, his future does look very, very good. You can see him smiling there because he knows it's all over. He knows he's won, and he'll be pretty pleased. And $1,100 I'd be pleased with too.
Yes, it's a bit better than the cheque you won this week, Terry.
Yeah, it is actually.
$1,100 to Cameron McKinnon if he indeed takes this tournament, and he has done. The second strike in the 10th frame. A 9 or better takes him to a 200 even score. Troy Lott 108 in the 8th frame with a spare in the 9th, but as Terry's already suggested, 148 is his best score. So Cameron McKinnon is the 1992 Boys Junior South Pacific Classic champion, and $1,100 goes into his bank account, as well as a nice little statistic on his bowling resume.
Definitely. And also, this is a terrible position for Troy to be in, because you just got to get up and go through the motions. You know, he's already lost the match, and he's just got to get up to finish it out. But a great win to Cameron. You know, he finished on top after the match play, and it's only justified that he comes out and wins. Troy has already bowled a match prior to coming out here. He was a bit warmer. Should have a bit more confidence, but Cameron's done himself really well. 198 game, that's a great game on TV. That wins most matches.
Well, Troy just trying to get some numbers here so that he doesn't feel too despondent. Not only has he lost, but he certainly hasn't been in his best form. A lot of things come into this. First time in front of television, nerves in a big tournament. He even, when I spoke to him earlier today, he said he was the perennial runner-up. And I certainly hope this isn't something that clouds him. He's finished his total out, of course, with a score of 134. Certainly no true indication of Troy Lott's future in bowling, but our winner for the Junior South Pacific Classic for 1992 with a score of 198, Cameron McKinnon of South Australia.